first introduction to the gig. We've opened the door to the shed and I've got Boots at liberty so that she can move as far away as she feels she needs to move, which isn't very far by the look of it. So I gave her a click and treat there for not moving away. And she knows there's apples in there, so she's gone in to have a look, see if she can find an apple on the table. And then we're doing this free shaping. I want her to approach the cart and the gig in her own time, which she has done. And the idea for free shaping is that whenever the horse pays any attention to what you'd like it to pay attention to, you give it a click and a treat. I have taken her to outings with the Shafts and Wheels Club, and we've targeted lots of other people's gigs, and we've followed gigs that were moving around, so it's not totally new to her. But she's having a really good sniff and a really good look. I imagine she can smell other horses. And she's also quite happy to earn a treat for targeting, so she's just basically doing her targeting game. Then I just want her to see the gig out of both eyes and from all its sides, so that she becomes totally familiar with what it looks like and smells like. So at the moment I've got myself between her and the gig, and now I'm going to ask her to turn around. So we're going the other way. So again, I want her to check it out with both eyes, feel comfortable walking right around it. Now I've got the horse between me and the gig, and I thought we were okay to do this because she felt pretty relaxed. She wasn't jumping away from it or anything, and she says, I need to sniff it again. I want to have a bit more of a look. I think I may have gone to get her halter at this point. Oh no, not quite yet. First I was going to see how she was with it moving. So I just picked it up and put it down several times. It's quite heavy, I suppose. A good exercise for me. And then when she was okay with it being picked up, put down, I thought, well, I'll just pull it along, see if she wants to follow it. It's a general rule for natural horsemanship that if you want to get a horse interested in something without being afraid of it, you move away from it. I thought she might follow me, but I think she may have thought she was parked, that I had left her parked, so she just stayed there. Now I've gone to get the halter, and she followed me to the shed, and then she turned around and came back and targeted the gig again all by herself. So that was pretty good. So I've put on the halter, and I've put a couple of little drum things where the shafts are, so she can see the ends. Horses can't really see under there, so I've put the little drums there so that she can see where the shaft ends actually are. Then we went away and did something else for a while, and now we've come back to the gig again. I'm just letting her have a good look of what those are and what their position is. I'm going to ask her to turn around, and I'm just experimenting here. I have no idea how readily she'll do these things, so I'm letting the horse tell me what I should do next. I'm just going to see if I can back her between these two drums, which is between the shafts, which is only about 80 centimeters. It's not quite a meter wide there, so that was really good. I was very pleased with that. We've done a lot of practice backing through narrow places, probably years of it, and especially recently, since we've been doing horse agility, backing into a narrow space has been an obstacle that often shows up. So that's something she already knows really well. It's not something she suddenly picked up this morning. And I'd like her to go through forward so she can get a feel of how wide that space is. You notice I've actually put the shafts up on top of those little drums now, so that they're raised a little bit, and she can get a sense of the width of that whole space. Horses really like to know what's happening before it happens, and It's really important to give them lots and lots of time. I don't want her to bite the seat though. Lots and lots of time to just get their head around it. She's learning something brand new, so the more time I take now, the less time it will eventually take. And see if I can back her there through the raised shafts, and that was really good. She went back very nicely, so instead of pushing it all the way through, I said that was good. Come forward for a click and treat. And one step in there is all I want. And then she was happy to do another step, click and treat. Ask her for another step. And this game of backing up with just a finger cue is also something she knows really well. So there are skills that she already has down, and we're now applying the skills to this situation. So if your horse doesn't know all these things, it's a really good idea to teach them first. Now we go on and have Brian pull the cart and follow the cart. It's the sort of thing I did when I was down at the Shafts and Wheels. And gradually I want her to be able to walk beside the cart. You can see she's still a little bit dubious there. She's hanging back a bit. So I take her to the inside and ask her to be between me and the cart rather than have me between her and the cart. And you see she's not quite happy yet. She's put me back on the inside. And we're coming around here. And now she's able to see the cart moving behind her with her left eye. We did lots of transitions, walk, halt, walk transitions. And I asked Brian to stop, and then when she stopped I would click and treat. Now I've put myself on the other side, and you can see she's still really wanting to look at the cart, wanting to sniff it, and wanting to just check out that it's not going to harm her in any way. Give her a click and treat for her interest and standing there comfortably. And then we walk on again. Notice that she's still sort of sidling a little bit away from it, but not as much. She didn't try to put me on the other side again. We get a halt. Every time you do a halt, walk transition, or a walk halt transition, giving yourself another learning opportunity. Now there you can see she's nicely in position like she's going to be when she's actually pulling the cart. She's seeing the movement behind her, still out of her left eye. That was really, really good. She's standing quite close there. You can see she's quite close, almost as close as she will be when she's between the shafts. She's not trying to push out into me. Now we just do it with her right eye. And same procedure, transitions, click treat for halting nicely without having to be worried about the cart. She's having a good look at it there again. And walk on when the cart goes on. There she's a little bit dubious again, but each time she's a little less anxious.